How we doing, everyone? What I wanted to do today is do a short 10-15 minute what is leadership. You had the articles. This is a very important module, and so when we talk about leadership, I want you to think in your head, what's your model of leadership? Okay? And in your head, can you name a few leaders? Okay? They could be good people. They could be terrible people, like Hitler. But Hitler was a leader. All right? But when it comes down to what is leadership, and our one article, I think, where are all my articles that are open? I think this article, The Journey Begins, this is a very good primer, so to speak. Now, I know every one of you have had some kind of a leadership exposure, either at work or in your other classes. But what I want to make sure is that you get the dichotomy of leadership. Okay? And we're going to get to that in a second. Okay? Sidebar comment. This is the first, I've mentioned other professors' names who are in articles. Lokander is my dissertation chair. This is someone who's probably my main mentor. This is someone that's on speed dial. I know him very well. If you Google my name and his name together, we've done at least 2 or 3 or 4 articles together. So, he's a real good guy. Let me go back to this PowerPoint. Oh, you know what else I didn't tell you? To get this PowerPoint, it's on my blog. So, just go on the blog, go in the search, type in leadership styles. Leadership styles in a social media world. And here is the PowerPoint deck, and here is the audio from the presentation that I did it. So if you want to hear the audio when I narrate the deck and hear the conversations and the questions. Okay. Whoops. There we go. So leadership, as you read in the article, is you need to be a leader and you need to be a follower. And this, to me, is a very important question. Are leaders born? Now, this is an empathetic, is that the right word? I don't know. Emphatic, that's the right word. False. I do not believe that leaders are born. I believe that some people have inherent skills that might put them in a better position to start off as a leader, but that doesn't mean that they will be a better leader over time. It's the equivalent of, to me, salespeople. Are salespeople born? No. Salespeople learn to become a good salespeople. See, the leadership literature for a very long time was the great man theory. And it was literally the great man theory, and I'm not trying to be an idiot here, but all leadership literature was nothing more than a biography of some great man in history. They ignored women, and they ignored anything other than, okay, let's look at this famous individual that's either in politics or celebrity or a war general. There were many, many, many war generals. And there was something unique about their lives that made them a leader, so let's study their lives, and this is the leadership literature. Most of this was, we could call, a biography-based model. Now, leadership and this great man theory continued for a very, very long time, and it wasn't until McGregor at MIT in the late 60s says, something, leadership has to be more than a command and control model. The general, I am a general, I say jump, and you say how high model. So McGregor came up with X and Y leadership. X is the transactional, Y is the transformational. And we can put them on a continuum from X to Y. Right? X being all the way on one side and Y being all the way on the other. The X metaphor, and this is from the Goleman article that we had to read for this week, and these are the 6 and this is actually the order they should be ranked in, as opposed to the article has them mixed up quite a bit. This is all the way from transactional all the way to transformational. Coercive, pace-setting, authoritative, affiliative, democratic, and coaching. Coercive is do what I tell you. Coaching is try this. Democratic is what do you think. Pace-setting is do as I do now. Now, here is really what I wanted to show you the most. And these are from the Goleman article, right, that we need to read for this week. Here is the transactional theory X. Here's the transformational theory Y. The metaphors for theory X are transactional, the general. The metaphors for theory Y are servant leader, transformational, coach, mentor, pedagogue, teacher. Okay, this is theory Y. All right. So when we're looking through the articles, and you're going to hear me comment on these when I read it, go back to your questions, I'm going to talk about these in theory X and theory Y. So we had the great man theory in the late 60s and during the 70s and the 80s. We got theory X and theory Y. And when we call it the servant leader, there was leadership on the servant leader. And then it wasn't until the late in the 80s and the 90s where we got some individual elements and differences between theory X and theory Y. Not differences, but different metaphors, different positions on the continuum. Like authoritative and affiliative. And if you look at these, this position in the article, which you read, has a very, very negative impact on climate and the firm. This one has a very, very negative impact on climate and the firm. All the other four positions have a positive impact on the firm. And if you notice, this one, which is slightly left of center, has the strongest one. And then affiliative, democratic, and coaching are almost all the same. 4-6, 4-3, 4-2. But this is the strongest effect. So sort of being strong and a little bit to the left, might be the way to go. But if you're too far at theory X, no. No. All right. A couple other quick things in the articles that I wanted to pop up. So here's the Goleman article, Leadership That Gets Results. This is the 2000 article. In the 1995 article is when he introduced emotional intelligence. And you have seen EI in multiple MBA classes and in popular press conversations. He kind of summarized it here. And he collapsed. In the original article, there were 5 different areas. And then 2 of them he collapsed to social skills. Empathy is now a part of social awareness. Actually, empathy was its own position before. Some of this got collapsed together. There used to be 5, and now there's 4. And then here is when he shows the positions. And if you notice, pace setting really should be over here. And then it's, so in my chart, I actually have them in the proper order. Okay, this was a very, very good article. Last one, let me show you the Locander article. Which is where? There we go. So here's the Locander article, and he defines what a leader is. So when he talks about traditional boss and enlightened leader, the traditional boss is theory X, and on that side of the continuum, uses power to drive people. Enlightened leader, power-based, serves people. Energy spent, followers here, followers here. Authority. Uses authority to command. Enlightened leaders, theory Y, spreads authority. Manages by fear. Eliminates fear. Ignores, betrays trust. Fosters trust. Theory X, traditional boss. Theory Y, enlightened leader. Okay? So what I wanted to do is provide this little bit of a framework and a little bit of an explanation to theory X and theory Y, and really show you that continuum of all the positions between X and Y on the leadership perspective, continuum, so to speak. Right. I believe that leaders are born. I believe the great man theory is dead. Definitely dead. I believe leadership is really about an experience, of using the servant leader model. And really, servant leadership is the model. Ethical centered servant leadership is the mission statement from Seton Hall. That leaders are there to serve the organization that they are responsible for. They're not there to command and control the organization. And this is a very different model of leadership than probably the initial metaphor that come into your head. Last thing, and it always fascinates me. Last night I was reading the New Yorker. I see leadership models and I see leadership conversations in this X and Y conversation everywhere. Usually when we're in class and we talk about give me the name of some leaders, and then I ask about sports coaches, eventually we get to Greg Popovich, who's probably one of the best basketball coaches of all time. Now, most basketball coaches are extreme X's, and we can go through them. Bobby Knight and Pitino. They're extreme X's. They cannot be wrong. They are wrong. Don't question me. I'm here to tell you what to do. I'm the coach. I'm the expert. This right here is an article about Becky Hamilton, who's the first female assistant coach in the NBA. And in this article, which is mostly about her, but also a lot about Popovich, is an excellent way for you to see theory Y. And let me just pull up one quick passage here. Popovich rules include: don't skip steps, have a sense of humor, and get over yourself. These rules are another way of teaching the equilibrium between humility and self-confidence, which Hammond's found through faith. Popovich says, she knows what she knows, and when she doesn't know, she doesn't. And what she doesn't know, she gets her ass into the film room or nails down one of the other coaches. He adds, I think she's a star. Theory X leaders would never tell you they don't know something. Theory Y leaders would. If you get a chance, I'll send you the link to this article. It's a fantastic article, especially if you're an NBA fan or especially if you're interested in this leadership stuff. Okay? Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Look forward to seeing your questions.